welcome to everybody for joining. This is an event aimed at bringing a lot of our customers into the fold to really meet with the Progress/Chef product management team and really get an overview of where are we going with the product, where's the market taking us, and where are we looking to make sure that we're working with our customers to provide all the value that we can. So I think we've got a really great setup here from the product management team. I just wanted to take 1 minute and give an overview of ChefConf. So ChefConf is our annual customer event. You can find it at chef.io/ChefConf. And I would definitely encourage everyone to check out that website, register for the event. We are doing kind of a unique registration this year. It's generally free to everyone, or you can decide that, hey, I want to pay a nominal $20, $25 registration fee and direct that $20 or $25 to a very specific nonprofit of my choice. So that's another really fantastic avenue that we're taking as a way for you guys to pay a little bit of money if you so desire, but make sure that money goes to a cause of your desire. So please go ahead and check out ChefConf. And then a little bit of teaser that we have for everybody who's attending this event. If you're on this registration list, and then we see that from this, you were able to register for ChefConf online, we will be pulling a drawing and sending out a Timbuktu chef branded backpack to 3 people that sign up for the event from this event to ChefConf, and we'll be sure to get that out to people. So another great opportunity for you guys to register for a great event and also maybe get some additional swag out of it. So please check out ChefConf. Now, without any further ado, this is a product roadmap overview, very specific for our current customers. So I'll hand it over to the Progress product management team for Chef. And thank you again for attending.
Hey everyone, welcome. Good to talk to you. Thanks, Spencer, for inviting us into this conversation. I'm Prashant Manjudappa. I head the product function. Today I'm here with a few of my product managers, whom I'll introduce in a bit. But excited to share with you the roadmap that we have for this year, specifically the remaining of this year. Let me share my screen in a bit. Okay, I think you all should be able to see the slide. If not, please do messages or Q&A or via chat. Before we get started, I thought it will be good to give a very quick overview of what Progress is. Some of you might have already, all of you know about the acquisition. Just wanted to bring your attention to the aspect that Progress has been in, has a lot of tools which is developer focused. We have a lot of companies which are using a wide variety of tools under the product portfolio to run mission critical products, right? And we are approaching the 1-year mark of the acquisition, and I must say we have been very, very active in terms of accomplishing some of the goals that we had set out for. We have made a lot of deliverables. We have delivered a lot of customer commitments and even some new cool features as well through the year, which we will talk about. And we have been able to keep a very engaging conversation with our community and also to customers. So for me, these sort of discussions are really important because me and my team really, it's not just one way, but we use these conversations to get pointed feedback or to get some questions from the real users in the field who are probably facing some issues utilizing our product or have some cool ideas that we have to implement for them to get more value from our product line. So please don't hesitate to ask any questions. We have a lot of our product managers in the call, and we will be happy to answer any question as they come. If not, we have earmarked maybe about 10 minutes towards the end. We can do Q&A then as well. Right? I want to take a minute to introduce some of the folks in the call and also kind of give an overview of the product team. So this is me. I head the product function. There are broadly actually four functions now: user experience, product operations, and platform partnership. These are the responsibilities I have. Mark Denard leads the user experience, and Shalini leads the product operations. Everyone else here is a product manager. I think you are familiar with him. He is one of the most active member in the community, as well as among the customers, especially on the infra. He is the lead product manager for infra. And with him, Trevor, he is with us in the call. He will be talking a little bit in a bit about infra and app delivery. He has the overall responsibility of app delivery product as well as infra, and also we have started some initiatives about marketplace. He has that responsibility as well, where Sudarshan is the product person in charge for marketplace. In addition to that, we have Sharan in the call. He has the overall responsibility of compliance. Along with him, Lokesh is another product manager who works on a day-to-day basis with respect to the content and inspect. Sharon is now looking at expanding our compliance product portfolio into containers and other aspects of cloud security. We have Nischal in the call as well. He has overall responsibility of desktop and SaaS. Yes, we said SaaS because we started some headway around providing some of our offerings through a SaaS channel. We will talk a little bit, not too much on that, and Nischal has that responsibility. Mark Cavins is the lead product manager for SaaS, and Chaitra leads the desktop. And we have Ankur. He is also a very active person in the community as well as with customers. He is a product manager for Automate. Right. So we are all active on Slack, and also we can be reached out through your account manager or through your customer success manager. So don't hesitate to send a note to your account sales rep or CSM or CA if you want to have a word with us or discuss, debate about something that you want to pick our brains on. Right. With that, let's get into our roadmap. Right. So Chef's mission is to help team accelerate DevOps journey. In that light, we are looking at three large themes in which we are focusing our roadmap in. One is to help designer products to realize faster time to value. And another one is to make it easy for users and organizations also to adopt Chef software tools, and then help extend DevOps value across the enterprise. We have seen a lot of cases where our customers start with, say, infra and start utilizing, realizing that they have need to keep their infrastructure compliant and then move towards compliance. And also then they realize that they have a complex application ecosystem for which they need a way to package and deliver their applications and then migrate into the app delivery space. So we want to make sure that our products are tightly integrated and help them realize more and more value within their organization needs. So these are the broad three themes under which we are working on. Obviously, when we look at some of the key deliverables, we have classified into a little more smaller streams, and these are some of the things that we have delivered over this course of this year and late last year. This is a lot of stuff, a lot of information. So I'm going to skim through this, but if you think that we need to talk a little bit about anything specific, please do leave a note. We can talk about it more if there is interest, right? So as you can see here, there are a few themes under which we have categorized the deliverables. So the first was on the time to value, which is mapping to our adoption faster, easy to use theme. So we have made a ton of changes over the past few months. We have got at least about 40 or 50 new content that we have released, which is compliant, which is certified by CIS, and they are available out of the box for you to start consuming within Automate, which makes it super easy for you to assess the compliance posture of your private data center or even public cloud infrastructure. And if required, there is also a content with which you can remediate whatever you have found to be non-compliant. So that has increased substantially over the last year. And in few slides, we will talk a little bit on what those content, what specific content we have released over last few months. In addition to that, we have also made a ton of performance in general, but some specifically towards Windows to make sure that bootstrapping is faster, our runtimes are lesser, and we take lower memory footprints. We have also improved the YAML support in Workstation and also added some additional resources. This is typically used in organizations where they wanted some of the new people who come into the teams get started with YAML and then they transition into Ruby. Ruby-based cookbooks are obviously a lot more powerful, but it takes a good bit of time for anyone to get accustomed. So this kind of acts as a stepping stone and reduces that learning gap. And we have got a ton of infra views into Automate. Right? We recognize that a lot of our customers were using configuration management, and the Automate didn't really cater to that segment. Chef Manage had a lot of those capabilities. You could get a list of your node views, you could view your policy files, you could manage users of Chef Server. We didn't really do a great job of keeping those things in Automate. Consequently, a lot of our users continue to stay on Manage. As we are investing more and more in Automate, we brought in a lot of those capabilities into Automate, especially from an infra view side, which we will touch upon in a bit, giving you some preview on what all has happened. This is one of the most actively developed feature. We are bringing new capabilities, incremental new capabilities every 2 weeks. So if this is of interest, if this is something that your team is looking forward to, I think it is something that you should look for in Automate. And again, this is being actively developed. We are constantly looking for early adopters and power users to give us feedback on have we got the right feature mix, have we is it intuitive enough, is it addressing the pain point that we were hoping that it will address. So if there are any such feedback, don't hesitate to send a note and we will be happy to talk more about this, right? And switching into enterprise IT requirements, this is a bucket where we got a lot of feedback from larger organizations, where for sake of compliance or for sake of their organization policies with respect to tool usage, or because of restrictions that were imposed because of the structures that they have, they wanted certain capabilities. For example, role-based access control was one such thing. As the teams grow, you want to give fine-grained access to specific people. Not that we don't trust our team members, but we want to make sure that we follow least access privilege. So this has helped us provide the capability and in turn help our customers to utilize and give least privileged access and give access to only certain capabilities, even to certain screens wherever needed, so that there is more reliability. You can be more comfortable with, let's say, new people coming in, or specific team not changing something, having only read-only access, or having audit capability, not necessarily remediation capability. So the role-based access control gives that kind of fine-grained control. We also had I'm missing something, but we also integrated with LDAP and other authentication, because most of the organization uses SSO, so you could integrate with LDAP and have a seamless access. That was also something that we rolled out. And then we also saw a bunch of action on the Apple. They launched A1, which was ARM-based chipset. And that means that we had to make sure that we give native support in our Chef client, Chef Infra client, and other related platform specific aspects. So we have done that, and also with there was need for enhanced security, where with MTLS you could have a dual handshake. You can add another layer of security. So we launched MTLS both in terms of server and client communication. This is also a feature that is already out. And we have got really good response from very compliant or security concerned organizations in finance, federal space, and also a very specific segment where they use Chef Desktop or use Chef Infra to manage virtual desktop fleet or Linux desktop fleet. In that segment also, MTLS is really useful, where your client is not in a trusted network, or sometimes you feel that the layers of the policies that you have to box out the clients, Chef client, is not sufficient, or there could be some vulnerability, right? So MTLS has been useful in those contexts. We will talk a little bit more on the SAAS once we get to some aspects, but TLDR there is we have been active on marketplace. We have registered in AWS and Azure. We recognize that a lot of our customers have enterprise contracts with AWS and Azure, AWS, Azure, and GCP. So they would want to consume Chef products through the marketplace spend. And also there are organization policy where developers or managers can exercise tools that are in marketplace without having to go through the regular buying process. So those are the motivations for us to have our listing. In addition to that, with marketplace, if you are only one cloud, if you are deployed only in one cloud provider, you can install quickly. So you get a lot of advantages. So we have made we have some active listing there, and we will be continuing to invest more in marketplace and SaaS. And highlighting on the security and compliance though, this is again area where there is a lot of active development. This is going to be a continued focus for us even for the rest of this year and as well as next. We did, there are 2-3 categories of things that you can that has been delivered. One is on the content. Right? We all got feedback that premium content, especially the CIS stick profiles, has helped organizations and to get started to measure their compliance posture. So we have increased the coverage of the CIS and stick profiles, and also we have built a huge catalog of remediation content with which you can programmatically remediate any deviation from compliance. Also, we added a compliance phase in Infra client, with which you don't have to manage 2 separate CI/CD pipelines to manage the infrastructure configuration management as well as compliance. We have made it super easy and integrated within Chef Infra client from Chef 17 release onwards. You can use Chef Infra client and the compliance phase within Chef Infra client to to realize even the auditing capabilities really easy. We are going to touch upon this in detail in a bit. And we also had launched desktop workload, and we are making some incremental improvements there based on customer feedback. And we have some more lot more details which I want to cover in the coming slides. Before I jump on to, I want to see if there are any questions there. I see that, are there waiver per node or global? Mark, I think we have per node as well. why don't you give us a minute? We will respond to that over chat in detail. Sharon, if you can take a stab at it, that will be great. We have another question. How is the remediation done for security and compliance? Is it included as part of normal chef license? Thanks for asking that. We have multiple product SKUs. I think Spencer, hold me right if I'm going off. But recently we have, Chef, if you are on effortless infrastructure SKU, you have access to audit content. We have recently launched Chef Compliance Automation SKU, which has which gives you entitlement to audit content as well as remediation content. So if you are on effortless infrastructure suite, you might want to talk to your account executive to migrate onto the Chef Compliance Automation SKU, with which you have entitlement for remediation content, and it will be delivered through Automate itself. Right. And there is another question. You have correction in the GUI API issue, which when you corrected the GUI API issue, the scan results of controlling. Why don't I respond to this via chat? I think we have this. But we'll take some time and respond to that, Mark. With that, Trevor, do you want to take over and talk through the next set of slides, which talks about the roadmap?
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. I'm Trevor Hess. As Prashant mentioned, I'm the product manager that sits over infrastructure management, app delivery, and our marketplace offerings. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we'll talk a little bit about what our priorities look like for the second half of this year. So in the land of infrastructure management, which is the sort of classic world of Chef that you may be familiar with from before, this is where we do our infrastructure as code work. We're putting a lot of focus and effort into ease of use enhancements, improvements to our overall security and security integrations, and expanding our platform support. In the land of compliance, we're working on maintaining our cloud scanning capabilities and expanding platform support, as well as publishing an SLA for content refreshes. So when one of those governing bodies that controls some of the security standards issues an update to one of their profiles, we want to give you an understanding of how long it'll take us to get an update to ours that follow those guidelines. In the land of desktop, we're putting a lot of focus into integration with MDM provider. In application delivery, we're focusing on delivering some key features that customers have been asking for. And then shared platform services. Shared platform services is sort of how we're categorizing Automate into now, as well as our marketplace and our SaaS offerings that we're working on. And here we're focusing on adding new views and data integration capabilities. We're working on making, for those who are not using the SaaS or the marketplace option, we're working on a high availability offering, which has been highly requested for a long time, and improving our performance across our shared platform capabilities. So with that, we're going to dive into each of the areas separately now and look a little bit more detail about what is going on in each of these product areas. So again, infrastructure management, those who aren't familiar, this is the tools we use to ensure that our configurations for our fleets are applied consistently in all the environments with good infrastructure automation. And this year, we're working a lot on those ease of use enhancements, product and security integrations, and expanding platform support. So what does that really mean right now from a feature perspective? Right now, we're putting a lot of work into our secrets management beta. So you'll see right now you can integrate with the beta that's out today, you can integrate with AWS's key store. We're also working on improving our compliance phase that we launched earlier this year. You'll also note here in this list that we're doing a lot of work to upgrade components underneath the covers. So we're doing a lot of work to upgrade components in Infra server, in supermarket, in client, all of those places, making sure that we're using the latest and greatest technology underneath the hood. We're also some of these things you'll see and mention some of the other areas as we go through as well. We're also adding mutual TLS support for Infra server to support our desktop offering, which Nishal can talk about in a little bit when we get over to there. So that's sort of infrastructure management in a nutshell here. If we talk about shared platform services, again, this is what we're talking about. Largely, we're talking about Automate here. This is where you can see all about what's going on with the servers and systems and clouds that you're managing with our technology. So a lot of capabilities we're focusing on right now, it's enhancing our unified platform view, so it's easier for you to understand everything that's going on across all of our offerings and making that data easier to understand and use. So just a few samples of what we're working on right now. One of the big ones we're working on, we actually are in the process of launching, is our ServiceNow integration update. So there's that's much more robust than it was previously, going full 2.0. We're also pulling all of those infrastructure server views that used to be in Chef Manage, for those of you who are longtime Chef customers. Working on pulling all of the remaining pieces for that into Automate so that you can manage those systems from one place. We're also working on that HA offering, as I had mentioned previously, so making sure that we have a full supported high availability offering for those customers who need that. We're working on some policy file views as well, which should make things a really complete experience. And then we've mentioned a few times we're working on really enhancing these cloud-based marketplace offerings. And I actually have a few questions for everybody. I'll send out a little poll about what your world of cloud looks like and how you're using marketplace offerings today. Rice, if you could send that poll out, that'd be awesome. I get it too. All right, so let's look at some of the things we delivered recently in the land of Automate. We're talking about, first of all, these long-term vision of what we want to do with Automate. Right now, we've got these new Automate views in, so that's easier for you to see the existing data that you have about your systems, whether that's in infra, compliance, or application delivery. Right now, we're working on expanding our edit capabilities so that you can manage all of the different components that you need to inside of Automate, rather than having to go do that from either the old Manage tool or from the CLI tools. And then in the future, we're looking at advanced node management so that you can have more fine-tuned control over your individual nodes. One of the things we delivered earlier this year was the ability to add individual Chef servers through the GUI. So you can go through and actually add your Chef servers organization that you have within that Chef server so that you can more easily manage them and Automate. We added create, read, update, delete operations on different policy objects so that you can actually, again, manage these different areas inside of Automate without having to go through the CLI or other tools. So you can see the different roles that exist, you can edit those role attributes, and you can move all of that through as you go forward. So Infra clients, we also made it so that you can manage those clients a little bit easier. So you can now create clients and get those tokens, see the keys, reset and download those keys all through Automate, which if you were not doing this through the CLI before, you had to do through our Manage tool. The next piece we're working on is that policy file view that I talked about previously. So here's just some sample views of what we're thinking this is going to look like. So you'll be able to see and browse policy groups, see and browse those policy file attributes, and actually see those individual policy files themselves, all from inside of Automate, which we're super excited about. People have been waiting for this ability for a couple of years now, and we're so excited that we'll be able to bring that out to folks. Just checking to see what questions we have before we move on. Looks like Prashant is answering some of the questions now by hand, which is excellent. So I'll let Prashant answer those questions in there. Maybe we'll bring them up towards the end. I'm going to pass it over to Nishal now to talk a little bit about our upcoming SaaS offering.
Thank you, Trevor. Hey guys, my name is Nishal Reddy, and I work as a senior product manager at Chef, and I'm responsible for Chef Desktop and SaaS initiatives. So we started working on a new product to offer Chef Automate as a SaaS offering. But let me give you a little bit of background into why we are going down this route. While Chef has been the single place where you can get status of your nodes, compliance posture, and also with some of the latest improvements, you can actually do some of the management aspects as well. But some of our customers have been sharing feedback around the overhead to set up and maintain the on-prem server. So it takes time, is an added overhead, and it's hard to keep up with the latest releases and updates. So we are working on the new product, Automate SaaS. It aims to simplify the deployment and remove the overhead of maintenance so that you can focus on what matters the most, and we will do the rest of the heavy lifting for you. So what stage this product currently is in? We are still in development, but we'll be ready to provide some early builds for early adopters by end of August. And we have also launched a pilot program for interested folks. So if you are interested, you can join the pilot program. But why should you join the pilot program? If you're going to join the pilot program, you'll get access to early builds through which you can try the product before anyone else. You'll also have access to the product and engineering team. You can share your feedback directly and work with them in crafting this product. And it is also a low risk engagement with very less investment. You can get access to early builds. You can probably use this as a test instance in your environment and give it a try. And finally, you'll have an option to whether continue with the product when it becomes publicly available. So if you're interested to try this out, you can either leave us a comment in the chat section, or you would have seen a poll coming up on your screen. You can raise your hand by answering that poll. So yeah, we would love to speak with you. If you have any questions around the pilot program, do reach out to us you can leave a comment in the chat section. We'll reach out to you and we'll walk you through how this pilot program works and how you can get access to Automate SaaS, early preview builds. So with that, I'm done with Automate SaaS. I'll hand it over to Sharon to walk you through compliance.
Sure. Thanks, Nishal. Hi, everyone. My name is Sharan Raiker. I'm responsible for the Chef compliance aspect at Chef. And I'll be basically walking through Chef compliance in terms of the features that we're planning to introduce in the second half of the year, as well as I will try to cover some of the roadmap aspects specific to the new content that we are planning to release in the second half of 2021. So specifically, just a background, Chef Compliance as a product enables organizations to enforce and maintain continuous security posture. And specifically, our roadmap for 2021 second half is targeted towards three major areas. One is definitely to maintain the cloud target scanning across the three popular cloud providers, AWS, GCP, and Azure. We're also looking to expand our content and platform support. I'll be speaking about that specifically in the content roadmap. And we're also looking to have an SLA published with respect to the content refresh, which is basically today we support CIs and STIG. We would want to really have a specific timeline or a deadline by when we want to actually, kind of support the both the new content that's being released by the benchmark providers, as well as any of the updates which are made by the benchmark providers, so that our customers get the latest and the refreshed content through Chef. So with respect to some of the key features, one of the main aspect is with respect to the automate content generation process. And this is basically to eliminate the manual dependencies that we have in generating content for CIs and STIG profiles. And we are really looking at automating the entire process so that as soon as there is a new content which is being released by the benchmark providers. We have an automated process wherein we pick up these new profiles or the new benchmarks, and we incorporate them within Chef and make it available to the customers. We also want to expand coverage for CIS and STIG. I'll briefly walk through the roadmap on the new contents that are coming up. We want to build and support the resource packs for AWS, GCP, and Azure. On the inspect side of things, which is basically our proprietary language, which helps us achieve the Chef compliance, we're looking to reduce a number of community issues that has come up on the inspect. We're constantly improving the inspect tool so that it becomes easier for customers to leverage the power of inspect. Specifically here, we are planning to support some of the new DB resources, MongoDB, Postgres, and MS SQL. We're also planning to incorporate cook style within inspect that will help our customers better write Chef Infra cookbooks. They can detect and automatically correct the styles, syntax, and any of the logical mistakes they make in the code. We're also planning to update our target platform support with the new operating system architectures and platforms. So this will really enable us to add more content to our catalog. On the Chef Automate end, where basically the Chef compliance has a dependency, which is basically we use Automate for the visibility layer as a visibility layer for Chef compliance. And in the compliance aspect, we're looking at the data feed aspects, wherein the compliance data out of Automate is fed into systems like ServiceNow for incident management, Splunk and Kibana for monitoring purposes. So that's where we want to really concentrate our efforts. Also, we want to improvise our limit. Today, we basically have a certain limit in terms of the volume of the compliance data that can be fed into Automate. That's something that we want to overcome in the second half of this year. Just a list of all the content that we delivered in 2020 from both audit as well as the remediation perspective. We delivered a wide range of profiles targeted at various systems ranging from operating systems to DB systems, as well as some of the applications. We also added support for AWS and GCP resource pack. And in terms of the upcoming content for 2021, again, we are focusing on the audit and remediate content for CIS framework for Windows Server, Linux, Windows Desktop, as well as for the DB systems. On Q3, some of the key profiles that we are planning to introduce are Ubuntu and MS SQL Server 2017. A number of our customers have requested these profiles, and that's where we are addressing them in the latest quarter. On the STIG front, for the audit and remediate content, we are planning to release the content for Linux, Windows Server, as well as Windows Desktop system. We have a lot of requests for RHEL 7 from a number of customers. And similarly, we want to also introduce the resource packs for a ton of resources on AWS, Azure, and GCP. Again, a request which is spanning across multiple of our customers. With that, I'm done with the compliance aspect, and then I'll hand over it back to Nishchal for the Chef desktop.
Thank you, Sharon. All right, so let me give you a little bit of background on what Chef Desktop product does. So Chef Desktop is a new offering that we launched in early 2020 and is built on the very same foundations of Chef Infra and compliance. And it can be used to automate endpoint management on devices like laptops and desktops. Although we formally launched this product in early 2020, we had a lot of customers and community members using Chef technology to manage endpoints even before that. And I would say Chef Desktop is a product which is kind of born out of community uh, community itself. So with desktop, you can automate most of mundane manual tasks and thereby increasing the efficiency of your IT team. And Chef can also automatically detect if there is any configuration drift and can automatically correct them. And it also consolidates management to a single tool. So if you have multiple operating systems, you can use the same process and tool chain to manage all of them. And Chef Desktop can also provide great control. It provides a single pane of glass through which you can get visibility into your complete fleet across different operating systems. Finally, you can also consistently enforce security and compliance standards across your fleet and ensure that they stay compliant with continuous monitoring and automated remediation. So what it means for IT teams, so if you are responsible for managing endpoints like laptops or desktops, and if you're running into issues with scale, so you have a growing number of employees and it is getting too tedious and manual to do it via traditional MDMs, then Chef can really complement your existing toolset and help you automate most of those tasks. So with that, let me really quickly talk about what's coming up for Chef Desktop. So we are currently working on integrating with an MDM solution. This is largely because of some of the changes that were made in Big Sur. In Big Sur, profiles utility was deprecated. So now we need an MDM to actually install profile configuration. So we are currently working on integrating with an MDM solution. The next is to improve our getting started documentation and also getting started experience by providing some automation scripts. So you can easily set up the whole environment in a very quick way. And finally, like it was already touched upon briefly in the infra section, we are also working on improving the communication between the nodes and infra server. And this is so much more important for use case like desktop, because now you have your employees working from their home or from their either workshop, from their home or from even from a coffee shop or let's say from some ski resort, right? So now you need more secure way of communicating with those remote nodes. So we are trying to do that by providing MPLS layer through which it further improves the security. So these are some of the things that we're working on expanding the Chef Desktop product offering. Now you will see a short poll on your screen. So if you, it is more around the challenges that you're currently facing with managing endpoints. So if you are responsible for managing desktops or laptops in your organization, please respond to this survey. This can help us understand what are some of the challenges you people are facing and can help us expand our product offering to solve that. So with that, I will hand it over to Trevor to walk us through app delivery.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Let's get my screen share going back again. All right, so modern application delivery is kind of challenging. Our applications have gone from, our old monoliths that were kind of straightforward in that we knew that everything was in one place, to these complicated architectures where we've got all these disparate parts that we have to connect together. Very modular. Now we have to track multiple components across our entire place, and an update in one place could cause failures anywhere. We need to maintain our security and compliance posture. There are more breaches now than there have ever been. It seems like every week we're hearing about some company that's been hit in some way that we need to help and deal with. But trying to deal with those things often slows us down from delivering the features that our customers care about. And then we have all of these disparate delivery systems as well, all these different tools and knowledge bases and things that we have to understand and manage that are often siloed between our application teams that make our technical debt inside of our organizations build and build and build upon itself. So when we created our application definition tooling in Habitat, which is our application delivery method, we wanted to start with how we define our applications in a way that is shareable, testable, trusted, and actionable, but independent of the underlying infrastructure. So we let you create a package that lets you take the application, its build instructions, its configuration instructions, the system relationships it has, its dependencies, its runtime instructions, all of those things that are part of that application's definition, and put them into a package that can be deployed on any number of systems. So that's just a brief overview of what we do in app delivery. We're giving you automation capabilities for defining, packaging, and delivering your application to almost any environment, regardless of the operating system. What we're working on right now, in app delivery, we're focusing on making it so it's easier for teams to see and track the upstream package changes for packages that have dependencies on each other. And we also provide a robust library of foundational packages that folks use to create their software. So we call those core packages, and we're in the middle of doing our latest core plan refresh right now. We are also currently investigating support for ARM-based architectures in Habitat, which is a highly requested feature that will enable us to work on a lot of new systems, as well as a lot of edge-based systems that are coming out in the market today. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Prashant to kind of summarize everything and take us out.
Trevor, if you can continue sharing and going to the next slide. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're not coming back.
Okay, thanks. I was looking at the questions and my PPT is in another screen, so thanks for bringing it. So yeah, I think you must have got a flavor of things that we are looking at, right? So there are it is aligned to our theme, and we are making sure that we have most of these things are driven by feedback from our customers like yourselves. So please feel free to reach out to us. You can submit an idea through Chef Idea portal, or also reach out via your account manager or customer success manager if there is anything that you saw in this or anything that you were expecting to see in 2020 but didn't get to see it, or you were waiting for something and you're super excited to see it and want to get an early access to it so that you can try out. I think we had some conversations over Q&A channel that you would like to understand more about Infra views, what capabilities it has. We had done a webinar where we actually did a deep dive on it. If it is of interest, we can send out the webinar link to that, which actually walks you through. And even better yet, if you would like to understand more, Ankur and Vivek, the engineering lead, can set up a 30-minute call and understand your specific problems and also give you an overview of how the new approach can help you. And again, in the compliance, we have, Trevor, if you can go back to the compliance content slide. In 2021, we are actively working on the next one, please. Yeah, this one. So as you can see, this is a large list, and this is again driven by customer input. So if you have any need of audit or remediation content, either in Q4 or in 2022, please let us know. It'll help us prioritize. It'll help us build the right content, bring the right content to end users. So with that, I want to pause and see if we can answer some of the questions or that are not answered, or see if there are more questions and we can answer them as well. I'm looking at the question. I think, Mark, we have some questions about API reporting, exporting. Trevor, do you happen to, do you want to take a stab at it?
Sure, I can take a stab at it. This is so kind of expanding on our API, both from the API itself and the automate views is something that's been highly requested. It's definitely something that we're working to prioritize in the future, but it is not currently on the roadmap. But it is nice to hear people continuing to ask for this because it validates that this is something that we do need to be working on, not just from the compliance perspective, but from the infra perspective as well.
Okay. And there is another question around as you depend on one of the, I think, Elasticsearch pull request, and looks like Elasticsearch is not fixing it. Is there any workaround for us to, in lieu of this?
I don't have an answer for that one right this minute. We are currently in the process of working through our upgrades for Elasticsearch. And one of the things that we're working out right now is how we deal with those license changes in Elasticsearch for folks who are deployed in clouds and are no longer using the Elastic branded Elasticsearch. So that specific question will now that I've heard that question, I can make sure that we get an answer and see if we can get that published either directly by responding out to you or your account team.
Trevor, I think there is one more for you. How is the new support for cook style different from the current one, where the user run a cook style to detect the offenses? It's in the chat. It's not in the Q&A.
Aha. That is why I don't see it. Let me pull that up. Where's my chat gone? There we go.
I think we can stop the screen share though. We are done with the slides anyway.
All right. So how is the new support for cook style different from the current one where the user runs a cook style dot to detect the offenses? I am not sure the answer to that question. That is one I have to get back to you on.
We can respond back to you. You had shared your email ID. We could respond back with both request both of those questions for you.
So that may be a question for Shay. Actually.
So if it is about inspec, I think we had inspec style. Currently, we are normalizing everything to cook style. So in inspec, we had another link tool. We are now normalizing all of this validation through cook style.
We're normalizing over to cook style.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any other questions?
We have a hands up. Is there a question? Dharmateja, do you want to send it to us or via chat?
All right. Looks like we may be out of questions for this one, Prashant.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Spencer, back to you.
Yes. Well, thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you to Sharon. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for the whole team. As I think everyone can see, right? I mean, if we grow up in the space of config management, that whole space has really started to expand out pretty significantly to think about compliance, think about app delivery, think about the same process and methodologies used to manage a fleet of laptops. And this is where automation and DevOps is going. So please reach out to your customer success manager, your account executive, whoever you might want to reach out to get additional information on this. But I did just want to say again, thank you to all the attendees who came, and thank you again to the product management folks for giving this overview. We'll follow up with everybody, but thanks again. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.